Rev up your engines!
Well, the Chinese company Geely claims the first quarter of 2023, they're going to be selling electric vans that have a 600-mile range. This is what they claim, and it's not that far in the future. A subsidiary of Geely called Zeekr says they're going to use a new Quillen battery technology and have a van, the first quarter of 2023, that can go 600 miles. They have a new type of battery that they claim is the most efficient out there, where they don't have to be divided up. They're made better, they have more power, they're cooled better, so they don't have to have a bunch of separate little cells. Now, this is a tall riding van. Now, I call them crossovers, but I mean, it looks like a van to me. So it's not the most aerodynamic things in the world. To get 600 miles would be a pretty phenomenal achievement. Mind you, it's not out there yet, and there's no saying if this new battery will actually work and last over time. Who knows? I've seen so many promises in the past. Oh, we can make this, and they make it, and then they blow up. They don't work. Who knows? But that's what they're claiming, 600 miles. Of course, that would be a game changer. If people can go 600 miles, they can take a nice trip, charge it up at night, go another 600 miles. That'd be a big game changer for electric vehicles. The big deal is that they don't have to pack these cells into modules. They cool better, so they get a lot more in an area. They don't have to have the modules, those little spaces. And the company even hints that if they can get sodium-ion batteries, they'll be able to go even further. It's in the future, too. So there's a Zeekr 001, which is already made in China, uses extensive robotics and ultrasonic testing of them so that their quality control will be up. They see all the problems Musk has with Teslas and their bad quality control. Well, they want to make sure they don't have that problem in these Chinese-made electric vehicles. So if they do come out with a 600-mile van, I imagine they'll be selling quite a few of those. That's a game changer. In Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a Tesla randomly accelerated and smashed into a neighbor's house in Toronto. Now, I used to live in Toronto. Those houses are expensive there. The Teslas are expensive. The house it ran into is expensive. I suppose Tesla will deny the whole thing. Say, the guy didn't know how to drive the car. It's his fault. It's not our fault, you know? The problem is, you got a car like that, if the electronics go out, then it's not going to steer right either. Everything is run by computers. I mean, it's one thing, you're sitting at your computer or messing around with your phone, right? It stops working. You get kind of peed off, but it's not the end of the world. Let's say you're going down a highway 75 miles an hour. All of a sudden, it decides to shut itself off or go to one side or the other. You know, you're not riding around on your phone or on your computer, but you're riding around your electric computer Tesla, that's for sure. I'll tell you, I'd never go get one. I'm kind of leery about even getting in one and riding around in a thing. Who knows what one of these things is going to do? But in Toronto, it ran into a neighbor's house. Boom. Well, it seems all these companies are following each other, laying off workers. Ford's laying off a bunch of workers. Well, now Rivian, the company that is supposed to be making all these electric pickup trucks and SUVs, is planning on laying off hundreds of their non-manufacturing employees. According to Bloomberg, they're going to lay off 5% of their employees. Now, they got 14,000 of them so far. That means 700 they're going to lay off. They gave us so much money when it was an initial public offering. Of course, now the stock has gone. They still expect to build 25,000 EVs this year. They're not even close yet, so who knows? And then they say, we're going to make 600,000 vehicles a year using their plant that's in Illinois and a second planned factory in Georgia that isn't even built yet, that's supposedly going to open in 2024. These guys have a lot of future ideas here. But in the meantime, they're laying off their employees. As it stands now, they have a backlog of tens of thousands of EV orders people make. And that's on top of 100,000 electric delivery vehicles that they promised Amazon to deliver stuff, electric vans. So, they're hardly making any cars. They keep saying they're going to make more in the future, and they're laying people off. Well, doesn't bode all that well for that company, if you ask me. Everybody's jumping on this electric truck and electric car bandwagon. Well, let me tell you something. Rivian was started out basically as electric truck, electric pickup, electric vans, right? I talked to my customers that have pickup trucks and delivery vans. Not a single one of them told me they would buy an electric one because it doesn't go far enough. It's going to cost too much money. Where are they going to charge them up? It's a business these people are running. They run businesses. They can't chance their business with some newfangled thing that might not go as far, especially if you're talking about pickup trucks and delivery vans. The more they weigh, less distance they can go. It's plain stupidity for somebody to think these things are going to flood the market. Until they come out with something that has a long range that can go go 600 miles or more. Electric delivery trucks and pickup trucks, it's just going to be toys for rich people who want to have one. It's not going to be some business running them. The only way they could run them is if they only had short term. They're doing in-city delivery, and not all that many in a day because they can only go so far. They're already laying off their people. I mean, they haven't built a fraction of what they said they're going to build, yet they're still talking. Yeah, 2024, we're going to make 600,000 of these a year, yeah. All right, we got a year and a half to go before 2024. If you're watching this in 2024, you'll either be laughing and saying, hey, Scotty's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about, or, oh boy, he hit the nail on the head, look at that company, it doesn't even exist now. Crispy Kate says, how much is my Coronet worth? I bought a 53 Dodge Coronet with the 241 Hemi in it about a year and a half ago for $8 grand. The second owner. Should I put money in it? Should I put the original gyro torque back in it? That's old. I was born in 1953. I'm old, but I'm not a car. In 1953, that was the top of the line Dodge. It was fancy, all the chrome and everything, right? It's a 1953 car. The values of a lot of those cars is going down, 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 down. Because all the old people that wanted them are dead. The young people don't care about a 53 Dodge Coronet. The thing about it is, a vehicle's only worth what someone will pay for it. I wouldn't go too hog wild with that thing. I know a guy bought one a few months ago for $7,500 and it looked in decent shape, you know? The thing is, people aren't really collecting those things anymore. They're very hard to sell because people don't want those particular cars. I had a friend who collected cars, right? He got in a wreck and died. He had over 100 cars, and they're all book value. Oh, look at all the money it's worth. Most of those cars went for about 10 to 15 cents on the dollar. So if he had a car that's worth 100 grand, he was lucky if he got 15 grand for it. Hardly anybody's buying those older cars anymore. I mean, if you haven't, you like it, have fun with it, but don't put a whole bunch of money in it because you'll probably never see it back. And it was the top of the line at the time, but, you know, a lot of people don't understand, and they'll overpay for those things, and then when they try to sell it, they're like, oops, gee, I guess I paid too much for it. If you ever watched any of those shows on TV where they got people going to auctions and going to junkyards and people's houses and buying stuff, there was one where the guys bought an old Dodge and they thought, oh, it's great, it's an old Dodge, and they paid, I don't know, $7,500, and the guy told them, this thing's in horrible shape, and if it was in really good shape, it's only worth about $6,000, so you lost start on that one. Just a little research report if you put a bunch of money in a car. Rob C. says, I have a BMW that blew up the expansion tank on a radiator system. I got an E46 BMW, 100,000 miles, 325 CI. It overheated, changed the pump. When I drove it home, it overheated again. I thought maybe he didn't bleed the system right. I got home, started the car, and boom, the expansion tank exploded. What could it be? One, you got a really crappy mechanic. You take it back, it overheated on the way home. You didn't even road test the thing. He didn't fix it right. I would probably just about guarantee you that your head gasket is blown on that thing. That'll build up so much pressure, it'll explode. It'll just blow up from too much pressure. It's very easy to test, proving that your mechanic is an idiot that didn't do the test. Do my video. How to tell if your head gasket is blown, Scotty. Watch it on YouTube. Get a tube, test tube. Get them on Amazon for $35. Comes with blue liquid you pour in. The blue turns yellow, means your head gasket's blown. I can just about guarantee you the head gasket's blown. And you're going to crap in your pants when you find out what it costs to rebuild an engine on a 325 BMW. They are expensive vehicles to work on. You could try some sealer, radiator sealer. AutoZone sells some pretty good ones. So does O'Reilly. Try it. If it works, sell it as fast as you can. Those things are money pits. The next question says, how do I fix a misfire? I was driving on the highway about 60, and suddenly the car went into limp mode and was misfiring. Then I couldn't get past 20 miles an hour. Unfortunately, a lot of things can cause your car to misfire. You said it wouldn't go past 20 miles an hour. Generally, that's one of two main things. One, your catalytic converter could be clogged up. If it's clogged up, it'd be like sticking a potato in your mouth. You can't breathe out. Car can't breathe out. It can only go a certain speed if it can't breathe all of the exhaust gas out. Have your catalytic converter pressure tested. If it's bad, throw it away and get another one. If it's that clogged, cleaning it won't help. The other is either a clogged fuel filter or a weak fuel pump. Filters are cheap. Change the fuel filter. If that fixes it, hurrah. If not, after you change the filter, pressure test the pump. And the reason I say after is because if you just test your fuel pressure now and the filter's clogged, you'll have low pressure. But it might not be the pump. It could be a clogged filter. So you got to change the filter first, then check the pressure if that doesn't fix it. Because otherwise, oh, it's low pressure, I'll change the fuel pump. Maybe all you need is a filter. Filter might cost $25. The pump might cost $600-700. First, check catalytic converter, then check the pressure after that. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.